I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to attend this webinar. Before I introduce our speaker for today, I would like to give a brief about what Sales and Profit is about. We are a B2B focused sales performance improvement company, and we are in the business of improving sales KPIs and sales metrics for our customers. We help our clients improve their sales metrics right from the suspect to order journey stage. So, how do we do that? We have three business units to achieve this. The first one being sales consulting. We help you solve your sales challenges like go to market strategy, territory mapping, to go ahead with direct sales or channel sales so you can achieve the desired revenue growth. Sales enablement. We enable your sales team on our copyrighted methodologies and frameworks to upskill them and make them your competitive advantage. Talking about a third sales service, which is sales recruitment. We specialize in hiring mid to senior sales roles for IT and tech organizations with a background in cybersecurity, SaaS, IT services, conversational AI, digital transformation, IT products, etc. We help them fill their urgent sales roles by hiring sales talents in faster timelines. We have been grateful to add value to these clients ranging from startups to global MNCs. And if you would like to know more about how we help companies improve their sales metrics, feel free to visit our website www.salesprofit.in. Also, make sure to follow us on a LinkedIn page where you'll get more helpful content related to sales improvement. Our LinkedIn page is called Sales and Profit. Before we start this webinar, I would like to share a few house rules. This session is being recorded and is also being streamed on a LinkedIn page. Everyone will be on mute during the entire session. You can use the chat box to shoot your questions. We will also have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar, and we will try to answer as many questions as possible. When leaving the webinar, you'll get a short feedback survey. I request your participation in this survey as the feedback will improve our upcoming webinars. Now, talking about our today's speaker, let me introduce you to Mr. Murtaza. Murtaza has 6+ years of experience in demand generation and marketing. He has set up the entire marketing function for a company and also currently leads the marketing department at Sales and Profit. He has managed 1,000+ cold email campaigns and also generated hundreds of leads through cold emails. He is also responsible for some of our biggest deals through cold emails. So without further ado, I would like to hand it over to Mr. Murtaza to give us insights about cold email mistakes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yash. First of all, am I audible? If everyone can just type a yes in the chat box, so then we can move ahead quickly. Okay. Okay, great. I think, yeah, it's pretty audible. Okay, great. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this late afternoon. I think, yeah, if you have joined on this time, so I feel that it's like cold emails or, knowing more about cold emails would be an important, aspect of your job or of your role, right? So, I would like to thank everyone to remove time from the schedule and attend this webinar. So we'll make sure that we keep this webinar very conversational, right? So people can use the chat box, and whenever there's a time to engage, you can just quickly type your answers or any questions if you want, and we'll try to answer as many as possible. So feel free to ask any questions, and we request your maximum participation so that we can learn from each other. Okay. So this is the basic agenda of today's session. So there are 6 points we'll try to cover. First is the problem with cold emails. Then the topic which we are here for, which is the cold email mistakes. So there are 10 mistakes I have chosen and tried to cover in this session. Solution for each mistake. So we will not only talk about what are the mistakes, we'll try to cover what you can do to rectify the mistake or avoid the mistake. Then we'll also cover an email framework which we personally use in our company as well. We'll also share some email examples with you, and then at the end we'll have like a 5 minutes Q&A session for any questions. Okay. So is it okay for everyone? Type a yes in the chat if everyone is aligned with this agenda. Okay. Great, great, great. Okay. Let's go. Okay. So before I actually dive into the cold email mistakes list, right, what I'm trying to cover, I have a question for you all. Like, as per your experience, because I feel that you all would be using cold emails in your day-to-day life. So what mistakes you have seen other people make, or you might have made, that is, that leads to lower response rate? Can you type in the chat that what are the mistakes you feel people usually make, or you might have made, that leads to a lower response rate in the cold emails? Can you quickly type the few mistakes, what you what is relevant? Okay. Reaching out to wrong, okay. Lengthy mails. Great. Most of them it goes to spam, correct? Okay. Too much information. Hmm. Long subjects. Email templates. Okay. Clear subject. Okay. Follow-ups are all good. Okay. Any other thoughts before I move? Too many links. Hmm. Not really. Poor subject. Okay. Great, great. I think one common thing I'm seeing is subject lines, long content, generic content, all those landing in spam. Okay. Yeah. Great. I think, yeah, good answers. So I feel that a lot of this is is there in this webinar, and yeah, not much for this webinar, and I feel that we'll try to give you the solutions also, and hopefully it will help you further, rectify and make your cold emails more better and more effective. Yeah. So I'll start with the first slide, which is the problem with cold email. So I would like try to divide it in two perspectives. One is the prospect's point of view, and one is the sender's point of view, which you are you are the one who's sending the email. So from prospect point of view, what's happening is that prospects are bombarded with cold emails, right? So if you are reaching to someone senior people, decision makers, or they are already bombarded with a lot of cold emails. Every cold email looks the same, generic spammy, as you all mentioned in the chat, right? That this is the major issue. Then your prospects are fed up with bad cold emails. So there are very good cold emails which they would like to respond to. Usually they are same thing, right? They are very generic email, not personalized, all that. And your prospect don't have the time to read your cold emails. That this is another issue. So we feel that okay, we'll send a long email, so they'll take out the time and review, read each and every lines of your email, all that. But usually it's like the opposite, right? People just open your cold email, and just like few seconds they decide that whether I want to read your cold email further or no, because of the short attention span and their whatever the busy schedule, XYZ reasons. And for you, from your point of view, what, as a as a salesperson, as a marketing person, what we also face is, right, that what is happening is now that cold email is already being overused in the industry, right? Every almost every company, every salesperson is using cold emails. Then second, most important problem is that you are not getting the desired responses, right? Either there is a no response, or there is a negative response where people say we are not interested, all that. Then okay, the one thing which people mention, that the email goes to spam. So because now recently, like last few months, or I would say last 1.5 year, the spam filters, which your email service provider, right? You are using G Suite or using Microsoft Office, Outlook, or all those service providers. So they are also trying to give a better experience to their users. So they also try to block cold emails or spammy emails in the recipient's inbox. So that's why the spam filters are also more stricter, I would say now. That it usually doesn't allow many, cold emails from unknown people in their inbox. So I'm talking about the inbox of the person whom you are trying to send the email. Uh, then there's one more issue, that more than hundreds of sales reps are targeting the same person. So this is also quite possible if you are in an industry where people are, a lot of other people or players are there in the industry. So there's a good chance that like, many people are also, sending the same, same solution email or same product or service email to the same person you are also trying to reach out. And the last one is not able to personalize. This also many people just mention in the chat, that we are not able to personalize the cold email very efficiently, right? So I'll just move to the next slide. So this is where I've just tried to cover few points that your prospect will only respond to your email only when your email will not look automated to them. So what I feel is that nowadays, I mean, I feel every company is using an automated tool or a software, right, to send cold emails. But with this, there's a problem that a lot of prospects are now also, I would say, they are also very familiar that which emails it looks like automated and which is written like manually. So if your prospect will see in your email that it's an automated email, so they will definitely not respond because they feel that okay, it is not for me. It's already been sent to more hundreds of people like me. Then one is your email is personalized for them. So this is also one more thing that if the prospect will read in the email that okay, it's written only for me, it's personalized for me, then only there is a chance to for them to respond to your email. Then one more is that your email talks more about them, not you. So there is one more tendency, right? Companies try to put in as many features, case study, clients, all those in the emails, believing that the prospect will find it trustworthy and will respond that okay, we have worked with XYZ people or we have XYZ features in our solution. So but all that is not adding value to the prospect. It's only like promoting our solution. And the last one is showing that you have done your homework and the email is not generic. So the prospect should also feel that okay, this person or this particular individual has researched about my company or my job role, before sending this cold email. Then only there is a chance that they'll respond. So I would also like to again ask you that what else you feel should be there in the cold email that will make a prospect respond to your email. What else do you feel? Can you just type your answers in the chat? That what all things we should include in our email which will make the prospect respond. Okay, clear call to action, targeted pain points, correct. Okay, any other thoughts? What all should we include in a cold email that will make people respond? Give a concise overview, correct. So basically concise is like a brief or not very lengthy overviews, clear value prop, calling out their name and subject and okay, body in company requires okay, clarity on what. Mm-hmm. Credibility, okay, process of okay, but building credibility by adding case study. Hmm. Can you please define cold? So cold email is basically you are sending a email to someone who doesn't know you still. So that is a cold email. So for example, if I'm targeting a founder of a company, for example, I'll just take an example of Apple. It's a very big example. Just for example, if I'm targeting a founder of Apple, so he doesn't know me, so I'm just sending him a email, and that email is called a cold email basically, where a receiver is not. I mean, the receiver who is receiving your email doesn't know you. That is a cold email. Okay. Okay. I think yeah, a lot of people have added their thoughts on what are value prop. Okay, value prop. Yeah, people have told. Okay, great. We must was compulsory, right? We must think correct client list, right? Okay. So I'll now move into the actual topic, which is the cold email mistakes you should avoid. So I've divided into two categories actually. First is like the category where the I mean the pre-work which we do right before sending the cold email. So what you have to avoid before sending, what mistakes you have to avoid before actually sending the cold emails, and the second part is while sending the cold email or while drafting the cold email. So these are the two parts I've tried to divide the session into. Okay. So first is definitely targeting the wrong ICP. I think this now many people are trying to avoid this mistake. But again, a lot of people also do this mistake is that what they do is that they send the same email to a lot of people. I mean a same email to hundreds of companies and thousands of job designations. For example, again, if I'm targeting a CEO, it will be a same email to all the CEOs of all the companies. So that definitely, we are aware that this approach will not work or is not working currently. So what we do is that we are not clear about the three things like who, why, and what. So who are your ideal prospects? Why you are reaching out to them? And what your product and service can do for them. So we have to be very clear about this three. I mean, we have to have answers for this three before sending a cold email to someone. So now the solution for this is step one is map out the prospects you want to target from your past deals. So one thing which we can do is that pick up your past wins, right? Or the deals or uh, uh, the clients you have won in the past, and try to map out three personas. First is the key decision maker, who is the direct decision making authority, like right, who is the like a signing authority. One is the user. User is basically the actual user who will use your product or service. And the third one is champion. So this I don't know how many people are aware about. So champion is basically who is not directly involved. I mean, is not directly communicating with you, but is indirectly involved in the deal itself. So one thing is that you can check in your past email communications that people who are CC'd in your email, right? So for example, if someone has sent you an email, so check who all are also CC'd in the email. Those can be the champions actually. So you have to just check their designations also. That okay, who are they, and from what department they belong. And step two is that fill the data in our cold email target sheet. So I've tried to create a email target sheet for you, which will be available for you after the webinar. So I'll just switch my screen to that template, and I'll just walk you through that. How you can use that. Once again. Okay. So this is a basic template which I've tried to create. And what I've done is that there are two things. First is targeting, if you see below, and the second is messaging. So as of now, we'll just focus on the targeting part of the sheet. So again, the same thing. The what I told, right, that we have to go to our past deals and look out that what are the three designations and who are the three designations. So for the first column is definitely the past client. So write your client name here. Then the three designation which I just mentioned, the key decision maker, the user, and the champion. So in this example, what I've done is I've just taken a CRM solution for sales team as an example. So for example, I'm selling a CRM solution. So in my past deals, what I noticed is that the key decision maker is the sales head. I mean, the sales head is looking for a CRM solution for him and for his sales team. Then the users are basically the sales, can be a sales manager, a customer success managers who will actually use the CRM for their benefit. And the third one is the champion. So the champion is basically an operation manager. The operation manager is not directly talking with you, but it can be involved in the decision making process of purchasing a CRM solution. And the further details are the industry. You have to map that, okay, this client is from which industry, the number of employees, and the revenue. So once you have this information, so you can further specify your target database. So whenever you create a database, you have a reference point. And what I've done is I've given you a lot of empty spaces to add as many clients as possible. If you want to add more, you can just copy paste the whole thing below and try to add as many clients as possible, your past clients, and map out these three designations and the industry, number of employees, all this. So once you have this, so you will have a framework actually to start with creating the database in the first place. Okay, so is this clear actually? Is this sheet clear to all of you? Can you type a yes or a no? Okay, great. Okay. I think, yeah, it's clear more or less. So I'll just switch my screen again. Mm, okay, correct. Okay, so this is the first thing, first solution to the mistake, that first try to define your ICP. So this is like a very basic, idea of defining ICP, but sometimes, company requires a lot of hand holding in defining ICP. So if you need any help in defining your ICP, so our company Sales and Profit, is an expert in this. So you can reach out to us if you need any help in defining your ideal customer profile for your product or service. You can just visit our website and put an inquiry. Yeah. So now I'll go to the second one. Yeah. So this is again like a preceding mistake. The first one is targeting everyone with the same message. So this is like an internal email which we got. So there are two emails, right? One, the left hand side received was received by me, and the another one was received to my colleague as well. So both the emails are exactly the same. The only difference is the first name in the cold email. So this is a mistake actually which we have to avoid. And if this happens in if you are targeting an account, for example XYZ account, and if you are sending same email to, for example, 10 of HR people, so those HR people will, if they communicate internally, they'll come to know that, okay, this email is also sent to me also, okay, this email is also sent to you also. So this you have to avoid. Actually you have to okay, someone is asking for, okay, so it's ideal customer profile, I think. Yeah, Shall has replied. Okay. So, what is the solution for this is, again, I'll move to the sheet I just shared. So, fill out the information for each identified prospect in the cold email targeting sheet. So, first is the trigger, which I've highlighted yellow because this is a separate topic I'll cover later in the webinar. But we'll go ahead and see that, okay, how we can, fill the challenges, solution, outcome, and why you in the targeted sheet. So, basically, challenges everyone knows that, okay, what are the challenges those prospects are facing, which we identified, the key decision maker, the champion, and the users. So the challenges can be same for all of them, and it can be different also for them, depending on the product and service. What is the solution you are providing? That is also self-explanatory. The outcome, that what, okay, you are providing a solution, but what they will receive, what they will get from your product or solution. And the last one is why you, like what's unique about you or your solution. So there might be hundreds of same solutions, so what's unique about you that they should consider you. uh Okay, how bad it is if we send the same email to multiple roles in the company? What's the impact? So, I mean, see, usually if you can avoid, you should definitely avoid. But if you are sending the same email to multiple, for example, there are 10 HRs in the company, so you can try sending the same email, but you have to make sure that that email is personalized to that that particular company. I mean, it should not happen that you are sending the same email to hundreds of other companies also. So it should be, it can be same for a single job designation, but if there are multiple job designation, for example, a HR and a sales, so that definition, it should be a different email for both. It should not, it cannot be a same email, because this four things I just mentioned, right? Challenges, solution, outcome, and why you. This can be different for different job functions. So I'll just again move to the sheet I just shared you, and we'll try to see how we can fill those information. So I'll just move to this. Yeah. Okay. So what I've done is that, again, in this example, I've taken an example of sales recruitment. So this is like one of our internal examples. So we are a sales recruitment company, right? Where we help other companies fulfill or hire salespeople. So this is the best example I could take, because this is a proven example. We have used it internally and it has worked for us. So in this example, what I've done is, so first is the questions I just talked about. Let's leave this part, later on, because I just mentioned the trigger part will cover in the later half. But we'll go ahead and one second, we'll try to map up from here, from the challenges part. So what challenges they might be facing. So I've again divided into three parts: key decision maker, user, and champion. So in my case, in the sales recruitment service, the sales head is the key decision maker, the user is the HR person, and the champion is the founder. Okay. So what challenges they might be facing? So a sales head can face, I mean, the challenges, you have to make sure it's related to your product or service, right? So in my case, it is sales targets are getting affected due to delay in finding sales talents. For a HR person, it is not able to find the right sales talent for their open sales roles, right? And the founder's challenge can be loss of revenue due to delay in sales hiring. So all this are the challenges related to my sales recruitment service, which my service can solve for them. Then we'll go ahead and we'll talk about the solution part. So, okay, what solution are you giving? So we are giving a sales recruitment service to them, which will help them find sales talents and close their positions in faster timelines. So this can be same for all. Actually, solution cannot be different for all. It can be same. But now we'll go to the outcome part, that what your solution can do for them. So here again, I've mentioned for sales head, it is that we will help them hire high performing sales talents and close their open sales position faster. So for a sales head is always for that, okay, I want the best sales talents. I want a high performing sales talent. So I'll position my service like that. Okay, you are a sales head and I will help you hire high performing sales talent. For a HR person, it is that we will help you find the right sales, right fit talent for your open positions and faster timeline. So for HR, it is always that, okay, how based on the JD, how I can find the right fit for that particular job description. So that is the always a requirement of HR. And for a founder, it is we will help you find sales talents who will drive revenue growth. So for founder, it is always about the revenue and the sales numbers. So if you position my service as that, okay, you are a founder and through our services, we will help you hire sales talents and they can contribute to your revenue growth. Right. So this is how I can position my same service to three different people. And the last one is what is unique about you. Okay, so here also I've tried to divide it into multiple multiple sentences. That first is for sales head. That okay, we have already helped similar companies in finding sales. For sales head, it is okay. These people have already worked with some, for example, IT companies. So I can position myself as okay. I've already worked with multiple IT companies. For a HR person, it can be we have since we have already worked with many companies of similar of you, we already have a pool of qualified candidates. So this is the interest of HR. And for a founder, it can be we have already worked with companies similar to your industry as and so we know or we understand this space well. So for founder, it is again all relevance, right? That these people have worked with similar companies, so they might be knowing my space or my industry well. So this is how you can also try to take help from your from your management, from your market sales team, marketing team, and try to fill out this information because this will further help us in drafting the cold email, which we'll cover in the next slides. So is this part clear to all, or would you like to would you like any clarity or any questions on this particular sheet? Just type a yes or a no, or if you have any questions. Okay. Okay. Please, others can also type quickly. Okay. Great. Pretty clear. Okay. Fine. Okay, so I think this sheet definitely will help you. So after the webinar, you will receive this sheet in your inbox with the recording as well. And now I'll again move to the presentation. Okay, right. So we have covered the 4 challenges, solution, outcome, and why you. Will cover the trigger part later. And the third one is not setting up your email. And okay, so this one I think is very important, very small topic, very important, that a lot of you mentioned that my emails are going in spam. So it's definitely because one is that you might have sent a lot of cold emails and eventually your email is marked as spam by many people. And the second can be that your email domain, email ID or domain is not set up technically right. So the issue is that if your email is not, or your domain is not technically set up, your email will go in the promotion or the spam folder. The second problem is that your email will get blacklisted. Sorry, your domain will get blacklisted. So for example, if you have a lot of emails in a single domain and multiple emails are getting marked as spam, your whole domain can be blacklisted. And in future, if you create any new emails on that domain, the new email will also be marked as spam by default because the domain is blacklisted. And you can lose your domain forever. So if the domain is blacklisted, then you can lose your domain forever, and you have to then purchase a new domain. So like that is a worst case scenario and a biggest loss because your website and your email IDs, your all the communication is on your domain. So what is the solution for that is that these are the 3 records which like it's a very basic and a very necessity which we have to set up before we start cold emailing. So one is SPF records, one is DCAM records, and one is DMARC records. So I'll not go in much detail because because of the lack of time. But what I've done is I've tried to give you a YouTube video which the link is visible to you, and there's also a QR code. After the webinar, you can just access the scan the QR code and just have a look at how you can set up these three records for your domain or for your email. So you can definitely, yeah, you have to take help from your IT team or from your administration team for that, because this is little bit technical and you might not have a direct access. But make sure that these three are correctly set up before you do a cold email campaign. The fourth mistake is using only one primary domain. Okay, so this is also, I think I've seen many people do this issue, do this mistake, is that you have your primary domain where all your website is hosted, your main email IDs, right, which you use in your professional communication. All that is hosted on your primary domain, and the same domain is also been used for doing mass email campaigns. So again, I told you that your domain is can be blacklisted and you can lose your domain. So if I've just mentioned, right, that if, for example, Raj, Ashish, Kirti, Deepak, so these are the examples. If all these people are using their email IDs for doing cold emails, or eventually your whole domain will get affected. So what you can do is that use secondary domains that are closely related to your primary domain. So what I mean by that is I've just taken the example of Varuna. So this is not a real domain. Just for the sake of this webinar, I've taken the example of, for example, your main domain is Varuna Tech. So what you can do is you can purchase secondary domains, for example, varunatech.in, varunatechnologies.com, or varuna with double a .com, varunatech.com. So you can use these domains and set up email IDs, and then try to do cold emails on those email IDs, and also set up the three records which I told you on these three email IDs. So what will happen is if you use these email IDs, so there's a very less chance. I mean, there is definitely there's no chance because your main domain is not being used. So there is definitely very less or no chance that your main domain will get affected. If you lose this domain, it's a very less, or I would rather say much less effect on your overall company. Rather than losing your primary domain. Does that affect the brand trust? Because generally companies mark you spam if the email domain is not the same. So I feel that there is definitely a possibility that people will notice, but I feel there's a very less chance that people will actually go and see your domain, and that is why I've also included one more caution, is that you don't have to forget that you have to also redirect your secondary domain to your primary domain. So what happens is that if someone will visit varunatech.in, it should automatically redirect to varunatech.com. Then people will, I mean, then your email, I mean, your domain will not look spammy or something. People will know that, okay, I'm on the right website, some website is opening. So this part also you have to make sure while setting up your secondary domain, that try to redirect it on your primary domain, then only it will help. Otherwise, definitely, as Harsh mentioned, it will definitely harm your brand. Yeah. IN for India, .NET, yeah, would be great. Okay, correct. Yeah, you can use multiple extensions, .in, .com, .co, .in, like that. Okay. So am I clear till this point? So this is like more of a technical part. So are you guys clear, or any questions on this slide or the previous slide? Just type a yes or a no. Okay, great. Okay. So now we'll move to the second category, with while writing cold email. So one is definitely the subject line, which again many people mentioned I mean, in the chat box when I asked, right? So what happens is that usually what we are doing is like we are trying to fit a lot of information in our subject line. So for example, I've just tried to mention few, right? That increase your reply rate by 50%, or will write your company, means your company and your prospects company with this sign, like for example, solution to automate your purchase management, first name can be connect with question first name. All these are very much used in the industry. So I would also like to ask that, sorry, have you guys seen this kind of subject lines in your inbox, or have you used it by chance? Can you just use the chat and confirm that have you seen this kind of subject lines? If you have seen this, so then definitely, yeah, it's been used in the industry, and we have to somehow rectify it. Okay. Yes. 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 Okay. Correct. Correct. So what is the issue with the subject line is that what happens is now, because this kind of subject lines are being overused, so your prospect, right, whom you are sending the email is already, somewhere they see the subject line and they know that, okay, this is a cold email, I have to ignore it. They will not open your email also, or they will definitely mark it as spam also. So the issue with this is that it's like more of a like a marketing kind of subject line, where where some, for example, Amazon is sending you something, so Amazon will say that, okay, 50% discount, those kind of subject lines. And if you use the first name or the company's name, so all this looks very automated and very very much like spammy to the recipients, because it has been used so much in the industry. So rather, what we can do is, what are the best practices? The first is definitely don't use a personal information like first name or company name or their first name or company name. Avoid using verbs or action words. So any verbs or action words like increase, improve, get, all this is like a marketing subject line, characteristics. You don't have to use those kind of, because this again people will read this and they'll know that, okay, this is a cold email. You don't have to use any metrics also like percentage, 50% or 2x your growth, 5x your growth, those kind of. The best practice is, okay, use 2 to 3 words, make it boring. I'll just make you understand what I mean by make it boring, and also use words from your email body. For example, so I'll just give you an example to make these points clear. Is that okay? For example, again, I'll first is sales hiring. So this actually we have tried to use it internally also. So again, I told you that we are a sales recruitment company. So we usually send emails to companies, whom we can help in sales, hiring sales positions. So what I simply do is I'll just write in the subject line sales hiring. So this is what I mean, that okay, make it boring. Actually, just write the very obvious words in your subject line, and try using this kind of small subject line, because it suffices the all the best practices. You are not including any of the metrics of first name, last name. It's 2 to 3 words. It's boring, and use words from our email body. So definitely, if I use one second. So if I use this I mean, if I write an email about sales hiring, I'll definitely take those words and put it in my subject line. The second is cloud messaging. For example, you are a cloud messaging solution, so you can just write cloud messaging. Again, you are a solution who is providing pipeline forecast for sales team. You can just write sales pipeline forecast. If you are an agency who is solving and who is helping companies with their SEO, so you can just write SEO issue. Warehouse automation. If you are a company is providing warehouse automation solution, you can just write warehouse automation. So just pick up the obvious words from your email and put it in the subject lines. Okay, if I use metrics in the subject, get 50 plus, open it, otherwise 30 plus. Yeah, correct. I think, yeah, definitely it's there's always an exception. If metrics are working for you, definitely you can use it. But again, if you have to also check the response rate, because it's not only about the percentage, I mean, percentage of opens. If people are opening your email and not responding, that is also an issue, because that says that, okay, people didn't find value in your email. So definitely your subject will get your email open, but that the content should also be same as the subject line, what you have mentioned in the subject line. So if you are saying 50, I mean, something, committing a metrics, that email should also reflect that in in your email body. So is this also clear in your, I mean, is there any questions regarding the subject line? Because this is like a very gray area. It may work for someone, it may not work for, many companies. What if there are similar subject lines and person is using a customized subject line with their other form name? So I mentioned, right, if you're using your firm name, so I feel, I mean, what we have seen is that usually doesn't work, because if you put your firm name, the prospect while reading the subject line, they'll understand that it's a cold email. See, what we have to do is we don't have to make the person realize that it's a cold email. We have to make them realize that, okay, this is sent to you. Right. Or is there any other advantage? No, it's, I mean, the advantage of subject line is only that we have to make the person open the email. Matlab, we don't have to like do like a spammy practice, or like a something like which we are deceiving the person, that we are writing something in the subject and the email body is something different. We have to also make sure that the email body is aligned with the subject line. So for example, if I'm saying that okay, we can help you with a sales pipeline forecast, so I can write sales pipeline for, what my message or my email body should also speak about how we can help you with sales pipeline forecast. Then it is not deceiving. If you are writing something and the email is completely different, then it is, yeah, it is deceiving. And now you are only trying to just use the subject line to get opens, and you're not caring about the replies. Okay. So, I mean, like another small task for you, that can you try to come up with a subject line, quickly in this webinar for your product and service. So what I want is just mention a product or service like in one line, and just write a subject line which you can use. Can you just try? Yeah, okay. Security service. Okay, I think, yeah, it works. Any other suggestions? Design solutions. Managed services. So don't write services. Again, services is something like people will come to know that it's a cold email. I mean, we are trying to sell something if we use the word services or something. You can just write, yeah, I mean, you can try another one, but I think this one might or might not help. Okay, IT service training. Yeah, this is hire dedicated developers. Okay, heat exchanger. I think, yeah, a lot of good, again, digital transformation solutions. I feel solution word is again more like salesy, saying that okay, we are trying to sell you something. Corporate business travel arrangement. Hmm. Well, okay, I think a lot of good suggestions. Just if if possible, just try to use it and see that what are the impact on your open rates, because we have been using this, and I think we have got around, in on an average, around 45 to 50% in every in like most of the email campaigns. And not only this thing, the response rate is also good, not only the open rates. Okay. Okay, because the subject line. Okay, so see, the issue is that if you use the personal info, again, I told you, right, that it's been overused. I mean, a lot of people are doing, so we have to do something different, right? So if you are getting opens and also if you are getting responses, then it's fine. You can use it. But if you are, I mean, if you are seeing one of the things getting dropped off, for example, if your opens are less or if your response is less, then definitely you should reconsider it, because you are right that okay, people will see their name, but that also says that okay, I also, that person will think that I've also received so many those same subject line kind of emails. So this is also one of those emails. It's not something different. So I'll just move forward because I think we are running out of time. Yeah. So now I'll move to the sixth one, which is using unnecessary sentences in the start. So after the subject line, this is the second most important thing I think, which people look, right, when they open the email. They'll read the first line of your email and they will, uh, uh, I mean, uh, they will make up their mind that is this email for me, or should I read it or should I not read it. So if you are using sentences like hope you are doing well, hope you are having a great day, I hope this email finds you well, my name is Dash and I represent the Dash, all those. So again, I mean, a question to all of you. Again, I have you. I think most of you might have seen this kind of starters in the emails. So can you just type a yes or a no if you have seen this kind of emails also? I mean, a start of the email starting with this kind of sentences. Right. Yes. 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 Lot of times. Correct. Yes. Right, right. I think a lot of people are saying 99% of the time. Correct. Right. See, okay. So, I mean, what I want to address here is that why not to use this? Because first is that if you think of it, right, it is not adding any value to the email. So I just told you, right, that the attention span is very less. If I, if I rightly remember, I'd read somewhere that it's only like 5 seconds or 8 seconds. Your prospect will read your email. I mean, a prospect will give a time to read your email. And if in this 5 seconds window, if you are, mentioning something like this, which will take 1 second of that time, uh, and is not adding any value to them, right? Hope you are doing well and all that, it's not adding value in your email content. I mean, it's not making any point. So why use it, right? And it's a waste of space of your email. Uh, your prospects will think it's a cold email. Again, same thing. If so someone said 99% of the time. So if it is 99% of the time, I mean, I that goes to say that almost everyone is using this. So we should stop using it. So to make it look like that it's not a cold email, because again, same thing. If this is been used a lot of time, it will happen that prospect will open the email and they will realize that okay, it's a cold email if they don't know you. Okay, if definitely if you know someone and you are sending, so definitely you can, out of a good gesture, you can write hope you're doing well and all. But if it's a cold email, definitely you can avoid these lines. So I'll just move ahead. So again, a question to everyone: can you give me examples of more such sentences? So we are only talking about the first sentence, right, which comes after hi first name. So if you are sending it to hi, for example, me, so hi Murtaza, then the next sentence. So can you give me examples of any sentences which you feel are people included or you have included, but it doesn't add any value in your email? Can you give some examples, right, in the chat? Greetings for the day, correct. 100%. Looking forward. Yeah. Looking forward to your reward. Correct. Thank you once again. Okay. 100%. Yeah. Putting statistics. Yeah. I think that also is a good point, that if you put in the first line, it again feels very sales email. I mean, like you are trying to sell something. Correct. Any other thoughts? Hope you had a great weekend. 100%. Yes. Sometimes also good morning. Yes. Again, I think most of the things which you mentioned, I think you also realize it, that it doesn't add any value to your email. It's just like a one more sentence. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I'll just cover it, that what's the alternate way to start an email. So I'll just move ahead. So I've tried to again, from my understanding, I've given few examples that people use. Just following up, I know you might be busy. Did you happen to see my previous email? They didn't want, okay, so this one, I think a lot of people use it, which is very funny, that they didn't want to be a pest. Happy to connect with you, looking forward to your response. I think a lot of things you mentioned in your, you guys mentioned, so you can just take a look at your email, if your sales reps, or if you are sending emails which includes any of these lines, so you can remove it. Yeah, so now the solution is using unnecessary sentence in the start. So what is the solution is that you have to start your email with a trigger, and this is, I think, like a little complicated, but a very important topic, which I would like to touch base. So first is that what is a trigger actually? So a trigger is basically a information that you have researched, which tells that tells you that the prospect might need your solution. So what I mean by that is something you know about them or their company, which tells that okay, this person might need my solution. Okay, it basically answers the why behind reaching out to the particular company or the person. For example, if I ask you that okay, why you are reaching out to this particular account, your answer will be the trigger of the trigger actually, that okay, I'm reaching out because I saw this XYZ thing in this company. I saw this XYZ of this person I'm reaching out to. Then again, one more important point is that you have to remember that it should be related to your product and service. So, for example, if you are like a chatbot solution provider, for like a website chatbot, so you can mention that okay, I saw that you are not using any chatbot on your website, right? So this is a relevant trigger which is related to my product and service. And for example, if you are a website development agency or a company, so we can say that, okay, I just checked that your website is slow, or something like that, you can say. Or it can be, if you are not able to come up with such triggers, right, that where you have to research something. So what you can mention is that you can also mention that you have worked or you have spoken with similar kind of people, and you feel that this is a challenge you might also be facing. For example, if you are targeting like a founder of a tech company. Okay, and your company, and if you are targeting, to, I believe you might have worked previously with many founders of tech company. So you have to again go back to that sheet where I mentioned, I mean, where we mentioned the challenges. So you can start with the email something like, when we work with founders of other tech companies or other mid-size or MNC tech companies, we saw this XYZ challenge they face. So this somewhere feels that if I'm a founder, I'm receiving, so it will again, I mean, it will feel that, okay, there is something of my interest, rather than, if you just start your email with, oh, what I mentioned, I hope you are doing well. We can just start with a trigger. So there are, two three kind of scenarios, or a best practices. That first is that you have to research about, which is again a time consuming thing, but definitely it will give you results. That you have to research about the company and find out something which answers the why behind reaching out to that particular company. Or if you don't have something, you have to go back to your past clients or deals, and you have to pick up the job designations or challenges, and then try to start your email with that. As I mentioned, right, that if you are reaching a founder, you can write, as a founder, I feel, or we have seen founders facing this particular XYZ challenges. So that also will help you, start your email on a very, I mean, I would say on a very personalized note where people will find value. And if I go to the next slide, I've just tried to list down the triggers also. I mean, what we have found out, or based on our experience. So that there are two kind of triggers. One is external triggers, that for example a company is hiring for a certain role, a headcount increase or decrease, using or not using any specific technologies, bad employee reviews, a geo expansion, I mean expanding in some other locations, their company's performance, their balance sheets can give you the performance, website changes, leadership changes, product updates, fundings or investments they have received, any downloadable content, I mean, any content they have downloaded from your website, a webinar they have attended, signed up for the trials, and industry trends. So all these are external triggers which you have to research actually about that particular company or that list of accounts which before reaching out. And one is internal triggers which you come up with actually, which are not external, which you are researching, but you come up with your experience, which is a trend or observation in their kind of company, which I just mentioned, right? If you are reaching a founder of tech company, you might have noticed some trends or some insights or challenges they might, and that you can use as a trigger. And the second is insights while speaking with the people of similar designations. Again, same thing, a particular designation you're reaching out, you have to have some insights about that designation, what their problem or challenge is, and then put that in the first line of the email as a trigger. So I think this is I mean, little, I mean, I would say little complicated, but it definitely gives you results. We have tried it multiple times. So are there any questions on this particular topic of trigger? Tell me example for software company. I think I mean, it's very vague actually. I have to, I mean, definitely I cannot give you example on the fly. I have to understand more about the company. But, if you want any suggestions after the webinar, I've just, included my contact details. You can just let me know. But I think in the, on the go, I cannot, come up with a trigger only by knowing what your company is about. You have to, it has to be very, well researched, that what is your company, in what industry, all that. So I think there is no questions as of now for trigger topic, so I can move ahead. So if New Year's are example, okay, so I mean, I just mentioned, right, that if you are a solution provider of a chatbot, I just told you, right? So what you will do, you will research a company's website and see if they are using a chatbot, and then you will mention that I saw you are not using a chatbot. or again what we internally use again for uh, s- as a specialized sales hiring company, we usually check, are they hiring for sales people? Then we say that, okay, I saw you are hiring for sales people, and this is how we can help you. So this is like an example. And so if you are a marketing agency, you can check something about the social profile, that okay, I saw that your social profiles are very less engagement, and then you move ahead with the, what you can do for them. So these are the few examples. And definitely you can go through the list of these 14 triggers and the two internal triggers. But definitely, yeah, it's a very time consuming process. It's a lot of A/B testing is required, but it will help you, in your outreach. I mean, personalize your outreach, and it will force you to, put out the time to research each companies. Okay, one second. I think okay. So I think yes, this I already asked you to more okay. Yeah. So the seventh mistake is more I than you. So what about what I mean about I and you? So for I is basically you are talking about yourself, and you is about you are talking about them, about the company you are reaching out. So the mistakes are talking a lot about your company. The second mistake I've seen a lot of times is listing down your features of your solution. So this I think a lot of people you might have also seen, or you might have done this mistake, that people list down their features in the bulletin points, thinking that okay, it will add value to my email, but no one reads that features. It doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't provide any value. And mentioning irrelevant mentions about company USPs. For example, we are a leading, or we are the top 100 tech company, or for example XYZ company in the industry. That's why you have to, we are the best, all that. So those are USP, which is, I mean, which you are just putting it out, but it's not adding any value, it's not proving something. So you can, I mean, definitely you have to think more about what I can speak about them, about their company. So what is the ideal I to U ratio? So it is basically 1:3. So every one I, for example, every time you mention something about you, there should be like 3x mention about them. So, for example, if I'm saying that okay, I am a this XYZ company, so then it should also, there should be 3 times you are mentioning about them also. That okay, I can help you with this. I feel that you are facing these challenges. Those kind of statements should be, more in your email. So for example, in the I section, people usually use this kind of statement, that okay, I, we, our company, we are. And in the you part, you can put, well, something like your company, your, those kind of statements. So definitely the you part should be more in your cold email than the I part. So then that, people will, or the receiver will say that okay, it's written for me, rather than talking more about your company. Then this one, so this is also a very important one, that asking for a time in the first cold email. So sentences like, can we schedule a call on this date and time? Let's have a call on this. You can pick up time from my calendar link. All those kind of sentences. So this also, I feel a lot of people might have used it. So why we are not using it is because what happens is that this is a cold email. You have to remember it's a cold email, and you don't. I mean, that person doesn't know you. In the first email itself, if you ask someone for that time, so it's like a very big thing to ask. Like you are asking for the commitment of the time. So I mean, what happens is that people usually, you are giving them the task that okay, now you go to your calendar and check that you have this date and time in your calendar, and then schedule a call with me. So this is a very time consuming and a very hectic thing for the receiver. So what is the solution is that focus on starting a conversation. So how you can do is that you can use asking for interest CTA, call to action. So what is the asking for interest call to action is that we have to end the email with a call to action, which first ask them that okay, is this something of your interest, right? So I've just mentioned few examples, that would you be open to explore this further? Is this your priority currently? Open to explore how we can. So this basically is, you are asking the person first that okay, I've sent this email. Is this important for you first? And then if they say yes, then you can suggest the time. If you suggest directly a time, so then people will not, usually respond. So one second. So I think this one is very, I mean, self-explanatory. So is this clear for all of you? Just type a yes quickly so I can move ahead. Like asking for interest CTA. Okay. Okay. Any, I think I'm waiting for more yeses. People clear about call to action, interest call to action. Okay. Okay. I think I'll move forward. Yeah. Okay. So this is another mistake. The ninth mistake, which is making your email hard to read on mobile. So there are two kind of scenarios. One is people will open on your the receiver will open it on your desktop, or the second is on their mobile. So I've just tried to give it to one example that an email on the desktop, which is on the left side, looks like that, and the same email on the mobile will look something like that. Like if you just see the difference, right? So in the mobile it looks very lengthy, but it's the same email. But if you type very lengthy email, so you have to also think that how it will look on the mobile. So what is the solution for that? That first is every one line on the desktop is 2.5 to 3 lines on mobile. So you have to draft your email keeping this in mind that if you are typing one line in mobile, so sorry, on desktop, so it's 2.5 to 3 lines on a mobile. So one thing you can do is send an email to yourself and check how it's looking on the mobile. And the email should, this is the best practice, the email should fit on your mobile screen without scrolling. So if the email is so big that you have to scroll to read the whole email, so that email is big. I mean, if you send it to someone, they will most probably they will not take the effort to read. So ideally your email with the signature should fit in a single mobile screen without scrolling. And the last one is too much of personalization. So again, we are talking about personalization, but sometimes what happens is people just for the sake of personalization, they try to include information, which again it gives out that it's an automated email. So for example, it happens, right? It happens when you import data from tools. So for example, you are using a database tool. So what happens is you just extract a list of database and try to do a cold email on that database. So in that scenario, what happens is that you are using like you are using same fields from LinkedIn. For example, if that the designation is something chief digital officer, so your email will have that same designation, chief digital officer. So that what happens is that the person knows that okay, this is automated email because it's completely same. I mean, you have just copy pasted from your LinkedIn, so most likely it can be automated email. That's what the receiver will think. Again, the second one is mentioning the prospect's company name multiple times. So this is also an issue. I mean, we think that okay, if I mention the prospect's name multiple times, it will give more more personalization to the email. But it's a complete opposite. If you put too many times the prospect's company name, so it again gives out that it's an automated email, because usually when we type a email naturally, we don't tend to use it multiple times. I mean, the company's name, prospect's company, we don't tend to use it multiple times. And the last one is stating the obvious. For example, in my case, I'm the assistant manager, digital marketing and demand generation at Sales and Profit. So if I receive something like I saw that you are assistant manager, digital marketing and demand generation and sales and profit, so I know that this is an automated email because it's completely pulled out from my LinkedIn profile, the my designation and my company name. So what is the solution for that? So it's very simple actually, that you have to change the information of the personal info you picked from the LinkedIn to make it look like that it's not copied. For example, I've just given an example. So, for example, if you are reaching out to a chief marketing and digital officer, so if you will write something like, okay, that I speak with a lot of chief marketing and digital officer, so it feels automated. But if we tell that, okay, I speak with a lot of marketing leaders, so it feels less automated. It feels that, okay, naturally someone has written it. So if it's, chief marketing and digital officer, you can just write marketing leaders. So that it means the same, right? A chief marketing is a marketing leader in the company. You can just type marketing leaders. The second example is, for example, you are writing a senior director of enterprise sales. So you can just write sales director instead. Don't try to copy everything, the exact designation, right? You can just write okay, sales director. When we speak to many sales directors, if you say when we speak to many senior director of enterprise sales, it's very automated. Again, same thing. So again, a small task for you guys. So I'll quickly just show you the designation, and you have to tell me that okay, what is the thing you can write instead of this. For example, someone is you are reaching out to a director of human resource. What you will write to feel it less automatic? Okay, HR leader, correct. We can write that. HR director, yes. Talent leaders, okay. Interesting. Okay. So I've picked up HR lead, HR directors. So it's the same thing, right? Director of human resource, right? HR director is same. Yeah. Okay. HR director. I think yeah, you're right. Now the second one, CEO and co-founder. What can you write for this designation? Quickly type in the chat box. What you can write for CEO and co-founder. CEO. Okay. CEO. Yeah, we can directly write. Yeah. Founder, co-founder. Yeah. Founder. Correct. 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 I think you're correct. Yeah. So I think CEO and co-founder. So it's a, if the person is a co-founder, is naturally a founder. So you can just write founder rather than complete CEO co-founder. Correct. Company leader is also good. Like the third one, last one, senior manager operations. Operation manager, right? Operation head, yes. Correct, correct. I think yeah, I've picked out operation manager. Again, same thing. If it's a senior manager, junior manager, he's an operations manager. You can just write one manager operations or operation manager. So I think this is clear to. I think most of you have participated well in this activity. So I mean, the goal is, I mean, to do all of this, right? To do all of this work is that the goal is to make your email not look like it's automated, right? I just mentioned that in the start that if your email is looking like it's automated or sent using a software, people will not respond it. So if you do this activities, right? So your end goal is that email will not look automated and there's a higher chance of getting a response. Okay, so I think I'm mostly at the end of the slide. So again, a small task that since we have caught all these mistakes, I'll give you all 30 seconds, and you just have to type reading this email that what are the mistakes you see in this email, what we just covered. So I'll just start the timer now. So you just quickly use the chat and type in the chat that what are the mistakes you see in the subject line, or hope you are doing well. Correct. It's starting with that 70% right. My name is schedule. Yeah, yeah. Calendar link. Correct, correct. Bulletin point. Right. Correct. Yeah. I think time up. Great, great. I think yeah, a lot of this call next week. Yeah, statistics. Mm-hmm. Too salesy and less personalized. Right. I more than you. Correct. I think yeah, lot of great answers. Yeah. Thank you so much. So now the final one, the second last part is the framework. So now all put together what we have just studied. So how we can put it in a framework. So this is a very simple framework which we can use. Is that it starts something like that. Okay, hi first name, then a trigger statement that I just mentioned. Right? You can start with a trigger statement. Then we have to mention a problem statement after the trigger. That okay, a problem statement. I saw this problem, or I feel you are facing this problem, that tie back to the trigger statement. So what I mean by tie back to the trigger statement is that you cannot use a trigger statement something like okay, I saw that we are from the same university, that is why I feel you have this problem. So that doesn't make sense actually. The trigger statement should be the problem statement should be aligned with your trigger statement or vice versa. Your trigger statement should be something that your solution can solve actually. If you again same thing, if you say something that I see that you are from the same city as I, that doesn't make any sense. That is not a trigger statement actually. That doesn't tie back to the problem you are trying to solve. Okay, the second line and the third line is what you can do to solve the problem, then the outcome, and then the interest-based CTA which I talked about, that you have to ask for their interest. So this is a very simple, easy to use plug and play cold email framework which you can use in your organization. So I'll definitely I've also shared few email examples which you will get after the with the PPT. You will get the email examples, but As of now, if you want, I'll just pause for like 10 seconds, and in the recording, you can pause and read the whole email. I'm just scrolling and pausing 10 seconds on each slide. So all this is, I've tried to, include the best practices in all these emails. I mean, email examples. So I think, yeah, more or less I'm done with the session. If you have any, we have like 2 to 3 minutes. If you have any questions, you can just ask me, or in the end, I'll just share my contact details. You can reach out to me afterwards also. We'll just have 2 or 3 questions. I think because we have already passed the time. Salespeople will handle specific regions in which there will be hundreds of companies. Profiling all those will be too much of time on how to go about it, as we are not assigned a specific set of accounts to follow the profiling. I think, yeah, this is a challenge. I think this definitely does not have any walk around. For each account, you have to find some criteria. Okay, in each account, what I have to see, to find the trigger statement. Then you have to shortlist from those accounts. I mean, there is no shortcut, because now what we want, right? We want more responses from the cold emails, but we also have a lot of competition in cold email. A lot of people are doing it. So what we can do differently is that we have to give more time to each account, do some research about them before reaching out. I Unfortunately, there is no shortcut to that activity. But definitely, what resources I just shared, that the Google sheet where we captured the trigger statement and all, the framework, all that will help you somewhere expedite the process, or make the process fast. Any more questions? Okay. So number of reach outs ideally per email, what we follow is around 30 to 40 per email. That's all. I mean, I think more than that, it is always a risk of spam. So 30, around 30 to 40 emails, because I think if you do all these activities of researching, and also, I don't think you can reach out to more than 40 people in one day. And that is the best practice actually, because more than that, it's always, I've seen that it usually is, considered spam then. Any more questions? So I'll quickly close the webinar then if there are no questions. Okay. Okay. I think we have already passed time. So here is my contact details, and thank you everyone for participating in the webinar. I hope you all found some value, and definitely if you apply this, I think you will definitely increase the chances of your cold emails getting successful. Thank you so much everyone. Yash, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Murtaza, for giving us key insights into cold emailing. I would also like to thank the audience for their patience and their interactions with our speaker. Thank you for your time, everyone. Hope to see you again in future webinars.